Hello. Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the Dragon Ball Daima, I think is how it's pronounced, new anime series. Daima, something. But it's been a lot of Dragon Ball on the channel the past weeks since Sparking Zero came out. Game is just goddamn wonderful to play. Obviously, the campaign stuff in my last video I talked about that it wasn't necessarily the best, and that it could have been better, which I think would have made the best Dragon Ball game ever. But Dragon Ball Z fans, Dragon Ball fans, everything, we're eating pretty damn well right now, for sure. And it's only getting better with the release of Dragon Ball Daima. I honestly might change how I say it every single time I actually say it in this video. But the first episode was released on Crunchyroll a week ago today, and the first episode is releasing today, I think later tonight, on Netflix. So I think a lot more people are going to be watching it today compared to how many people have seen it already. I've watched it. I watched it again today, the first episode, before I made this video to kind of, remember everything that was happening. And I can honestly say I have high hopes for the series. Looking into it more, it seems like it's going to be around 20-ish episodes. It's kind of just a more short series. It's not going to be this big fleshed out giant series of Dragon Ball, because it just doesn't seem like what the series is, it would work really at all. But for what it is, it seems very interesting, even from the first episode. Basically, just to get a gist of the overall stuff with the series, is this taking place after Dragon Ball Super? No. It is taking place before Super and after Dragon Ball Z. I don't know where GT falls into this time frame. Just ignore GT for now. This almost feels like a replacement for GT in a way. I know it's not, but a lot of it seems like it kind of is. But essentially, it's right after the Majin Buu arc, and they do an actual decent job, kind of not fully retelling the story of Dragon Ball Z from the first arc and so on. It just kind of throws snippets into it of what has happened, so you have some form of idea, which is nice. Again, I said this in my last video, I know the Dragon Ball Z story pretty well, so I knew everything that was happening. But, so the overall story takes place right after Dragon Ball Z's Majin Buu arc, and it seems like it's kind of going on its own thing of all of this is going to be happening before Super in its own timeline-y kind of thing. I'm not sure if they're going to canonize this stuff happening before Super, because there is a gap between Z and Super of really a lot of random shit could technically have happened. But it seems like they're doing a really good job just through one episode. Hopefully it holds true for the entire series. But it seems like it's done a good job bringing Dragon Ball and I don't know, the essence of it almost back from Super to Dragon Ball Z type time frame of Dragon Ball. More about the Dragon Balls, adventurous stuff like that. More they're going on to some sort of journey almost. It seems like some more silliness almost in a way, because Dragon Ball Z has very serious moments, but also has a lot of just silly bullshit. But not too stupid where it takes you out of it, if that makes sense. And it seems like through one episode at least, hopefully it's more of it and fleshes it out and whatnot, but it seems like it's leaning more towards, how Dragon Ball Z kind of felt and the environment of that and everything like that. And it's going to be very interesting too how this plays out, because spoiler alert if you didn't know, because it's in all the kind of trailer or stuff about it. Goku is a child again. They're all kind of kids again, like what happened in GT, but they're doing it in a different way. So hopefully it doesn't end up turning kind of silly. I've never watched GT. I've seen the villain stuff like that. They look interesting, but everything I hear is the actual storytelling and the reasoning behind stuff is fucking just dumb. Essentially. This hopefully doesn't turn like that. It seems pretty interesting through one episode, tying in the villain right now to the Majin Buu arc and stuff like that. Hopefully the story of it has, legs behind it versus what it was like with GT, from what I've heard. But with that being said, I hope that they do a lot of different stuff with like Goku's transformations, because where this is taking place, he doesn't have any of like his transformations that he has in Super, which he just uses all the time. Like he doesn't have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. What a mouthful. Doesn't have Super Saiyan God. Obviously no Ultra Instinct. His strongest transformation would be just Super Saiyan 3, which it's not like he has used it a lot compared to just Super Saiyan. And I'm pretty sure, like, reading little bits about GT, it was like the fact he was a kid meant that he couldn't really use his transformations for very long. So it'll be interesting to see how, like, if they kind of do that as well and keep him in just like base form and worry more about like martial artsy kind of stuff rather than these like universe destroying powers fighting each other, which Super just kind of turned into. It just seemed like, oh, whose power up of destroying the universes is bigger, and go at it from there, So I'm really looking forward to how this will play out. It's pretty refreshing, and it just feels good, like the world is in like a better spot when there's like actual Dragon Ball anime that is, new and coming out. It's been a long time since Super was like coming out, and you always hear like little rumors every year about a new Dragon Ball anime, and it just seems like it's never happened. And then it was announced, and then obviously to talk about the tragic passing of Akira Toriyama. Definitely, I'm sure a lot of people were a little hesitant of like, is this series going to happen? Should it be delayed? Stuff like that. But it is the 40th anniversary, I'm pretty sure, which is like this kind of tie-in almost situation. And everything that they've said before his passing and whatnot, he was, involved in the making of this anime, so people shouldn't be too worried about whether or not it's going to divulge away from kind of the main Dragon Ball environment, stuff like that. And I'll say through one episode, it does seem very Dragon Ball. It doesn't seem like... I've said it a few times now. It feels so Dragon Ball Z kind of Dragon Ball almost. It doesn't feel like Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball. I don't know if people will say that. But it also definitely doesn't feel like Super. I don't know. I could be just thinking of Super completely different than Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Dragon Ball Z will always be on like, a tier of its own type thing in my head. Rose-tinted glasses forever. But it feels more grounded back when the series was like, felt more serious in a way and wasn't like, oh, who's the new villain that's going to destroy the universe this time type of situation, which Super kind of just kept doing. But I'm looking forward to the second episode. If you are planning to watch it, be excited. The first episode was like 30 plus minutes long. I think it's longer than what the rest are going to be. And a good beginning chunk is a lot of like slight recapping, like soft recapping of Dragon Ball Z, which honestly is probably going to be helpful for a lot of people. But if you've just gone into Sparking Zero and stuff like that, I think hopefully the series will be fun to watch for them because it's new to everyone. And there's a lot of questions with everything in this. There's going to be new characters. There's already new characters. It's going towards like a direction that hasn't been in Dragon Ball since the Majin Buu arc, with like the Demon Realm and stuff. So it's very interesting, and I'm very excited to see where the story goes, what they do with Goku, or if they just say, fuck it, he can have Super Saiyan 3 the whole time, which, sure, I guess. Will he get Super Saiyan 4? If I had to guess, I'm going to say yes, just because it ties in with him being a kid in GT, and it's like the 40th anniversary, which also just, it's crazy, it's 40 years. But the 40th anniversary, Super Saiyan 4, that's my, could be stupid, but that's just what I'm thinking, that they'll definitely put it in there just because it would be also such a big moment to kind of bring that back, because it has not been a thing since GT, and GT is Dragon Ball GT. But I just wanted to quickly talk about that and say, if you're watching, I hope you enjoy the series, because I personally am, and I'm excited for how it goes in the future. If you've already watched it, be sure to leave a comment on what you have enjoyed, what you think is going to happen, stuff like that. And consider leaving a like on this video if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.